New study finds that being godless may be good for your health. In North America, several studies in recent decades found that being religious correlates with good health. Some have been led to conclude, according to those findings, that if religion is good for you, then being an atheist must be bad for your health. But according to a professor of psychology at the University of New Brunswick, David Speed, that theory is not entirely true. Speed published his research paper on January 5th, 2021, entitled Godless in the Great White North, Assessing the Health of Canadian Atheists Using Data from the 2011 to 2012 Canadian Community Health Survey. Some of the beneficial aspects of being part of a faith, a group, or church, including behavioral rules and social support, aren't exclusively religious. Religiously active people may have an advantage over atheists with their strength in social support networks. However, there are a growing number of atheist social media networks that communicate with other like-minded atheists who have similar views and life experiences. Speed offers that an important note to consider. Health and well-being advantages often linked to faith groups comes from the social support structure, not the spiritual beliefs touted.
All right. Was this peer reviewed or anything like that?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I have institutional access. Let me look. Oh okay. No, it was published in a journal.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just the professors come just.
It was published in the Journal of Religion and Health.
Is that like a legit publication?
This is not my field. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that journal.
By the way, if you guys believe this just because reading the title, because let me tell you something, okay? You could find a study for anything you want. I'm exaggerating, okay? But I could show you studies that shows that, being religious is good for your health and mental stuff, right? And I could find studies that shows the opposite. I mean, here's a study, right? But if you are biased enough to be like, we're on the atheist side, and this study shows that we be better, and therefore I'm gonna believe this study right away, okay? That's not how you do things, okay? Especially if you just looked at the title and you agreed with it without even reading the article. I'm not saying just have that okay, that's a good thing to. You don't have to research everything all the time because you have a life, right? But you shouldn't. You could just add that as a point, okay, I remember a study saying this. I don't know if it was a good study or not. It's okay to be exposed to these and have it in the back of your mind, but you shouldn't become certain about a position because somebody just posted an article that said there's a study that shows this, okay? There's a study that shows this is a weak argument. There are good studies, there are bad studies, there are studies that have been reviewed. There are studies that have been reviewed by good publications. There are studies that have been reviewed by not so very good publications, right? It's not that black and white. It's not that simple, okay?
Hey guys, before we get back to that video, YouTube has fully demonetized our channel for supposedly hateful and harmful conduct without telling us what we did wrong. If we get to 1,000 patrons, we will be able to keep paying all our team, our editors, our artists without ever having to worry about monetization again, which would be amazing. Yay! So please support Atheist Republic on Patreon. Link in the description below.
So, but it's okay for you to have a position based on these, though, as long as you hold these positions skeptically, right? So, and as long as you understand that the position that you're holding is a hypothesis because you didn't really look into the study, okay? So, for example, here's what I do. My hypothesis, right, and this study, if it's a good study, would confirm it, that the studies that showed that religious people are happier is because atheists don't have access to the communities that religious people have access to. It's not because God is good for you in any way. It's not because spirituality is good for you anyway. It's because we don't have the infrastructure and the community and the people and the sense of belonging that has been built for the past couple of, I don't know, give or take 1,000 years or 2,000 years or 3,000 years. They had a head start in building these all of this, right? And you know, there's
5,780 Armin
yeah
over here.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, okay. So the reason why Rivka's number is different is because she's ex-Jewish, so she has
She
me
just
and
had to
Susanna.
flex on us.
She had to flex. She had to flex on the ex-Christian and the ex-Muslim.
Oh, you look so cute with your little
With
your
your
little baby religion.
baby religions. That was good.
So I think that you're right. I think that the title is actually misleading because they said that exact thing in the article, saying that it's not the belief that often helps people live longer and they feel happier. It's the community support with regard to religious people. So for me, I think the title should say, new study finds that being godless may be as good for your health as being religious. Because that's what the article is trying to say. I'm reading it, is that if you have a support network and you're an atheist, it's the same positive effect on your health. It's the community, it's the support, it's the feeling of belonging, it's the people you can count on. It's all of these things that are the drivers of higher life expectancy or, self-reported happiness. So that is actually pretty interesting because it's saying that it's not the belief. It doesn't matter whether you believe in God or not if you have a support network.
So I did a little quick background research. I was able to find his paper, and I was looking into the journal. The journal is published by Springer, which is like very reputable. It's up there. And it's a peer-reviewed journal. So I was reading over the abstract of the paper, and the end of it says, surprisingly, results showed no substantive differences between atheists and non-atheists for self-rated health, emotional well-being, and psychological well-being. In contrast, results show substantive and consistent differences between atheists and non-atheists with respect to social well-being. Results appear to suggest that while religious groups report superior health proxies relative to atheists, this does not translate to substantive health differences.
Right. By the way, we could do a plug here, but I will also do an anti-plug as well. Because we could say like, hey, by the way, guys, you know where you can find a community if you're not religious?
Yes.
Atheist Republic has a community. Yay! We have a lot of we have local communities, we have international communities, we have local communities all around the world. Okay. However, see, this is how I'm not biased, okay? Because I'm like, well, if you're an atheist, we have atheist communities, okay, which we do have. However, just because you're looking for non-religious communities and support, that doesn't mean the answer is necessarily an atheist-centered, focused community, okay? You could have community and support in, I don't know, like you could have game nights where like you could have like a chess club. You could have a dance club. You could have a knitting club. You could have, I don't know, a community like a poker, night out with people that you go out. You could have a hiking group that you with a community of people that you really rely on, right? You could have multiple. Hey, here, how about that? You could be like, on Sundays I have a hiking group, and on Mondays I have like a movie group that we watch. Like we vote on the next one. Oh, book clubs. Best one, actually. Yeah, you can have book clubs, right? You can have a group of people that you read books with, and then you could meet each other once every week to talk about the book that you read, right? So there's many different forms of community, like this whole idea that you need religion. Again, guys, religions have been trying to pretend like you need them because they give, because they have the monopoly over community. They have the monopoly over charity. They have the monopoly over mental support. They have a monopoly over spiritual, like whatever these days people call spiritualism. They have a monopoly over a sense of belonging, having purpose, and it's all nonsense. Okay, they not only shouldn't have they're not the only source of that. They are an inferior. Like these are people say like it's a lot of atheists, like the Weinstein brothers and I don't know, Jordan Peterson, like people that type like, you know what, even if religion is not good, it has utility. These are desires and needs that we have that religion provides. And guess what? Religion provides that very poorly. There are better ways, that there are much superior ways achieving to supply these demands. And what religion is doing is, by monopolizing the supply of these desires that we have, is not leaving enough competition for superior ways to come and compete with it, especially because religious institutions have a lot of unfair advantages, usually even supported by the government, right? So the sooner you get rid of religion, the sooner these superior methods are going to come and fill the gap. Okay, who wants to go first?
Rivka can go first.
Rivka, go.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to sort of just add to what you were saying about religion filling some of these spaces, and that, there's actually room for better ways. I think one of the things that people often forget about why maybe people feel like they're happier with religion, or that it supports in ways, is because it tends to deal with these big milestones in life that are highly emotional: birth, death, marriage, illness, so you can definitely have more supportive non-religious communities surrounding those things, but that is something that religion has sort of a monopoly on for a lot of people. They're not sure how to create that or how to make that within their own non-religious community, or agnostic community, or whatever, because that's where I think it really gets a hold on you, because these are very highly emotional milestones in people's lives. And so what you're saying is making room for better ways to support people. I think that is definitely something that people need, regardless of whether it's an atheist community or it's just, a community of people who want to help others when they're ill because they live in the same neighborhood. I think that's something that we kind of lack a little bit in more modern societies sometimes. And for some people, because they don't live in small communities or with extended family, that religion fills that for them. So I think finding ways to support these milestones in non-religious ways, whether that's atheist ways or just secular ways having nothing to do with non-belief in a deity, would really help show people that there are options to this. For example, like secular celebrants or, things like that. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, Rivka brings up a really good point, because rites of passage, which is what Rivka is referring to, rites of passage are very important for identity formation, especially within how someone formulates their identity within a cultural identity as well. That could be an ethnic group, or that could be a religious group. So it's very important for our development. And that was a very, very pertinent point. Thank you, Rivka.
Piaget.
Psychology nerds, let's go. So
is that 6, identity and role formation?
I can't remember. I think he had 6. I'm most familiar with Erik Erikson. Anyways, so let's.
That's Erik Erikson. You're right. Number 6, identity and role formation.
Guys, we're losing people over time.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Kali, like me, then that means that you probably want more blasphemous art. Well, I have good news for you. If you subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below, then you get a free booklet of some of the tastiest blasphemous art available today. So, if you want some of this delicious blasphemy, and we're so generous that we update it for you guys weekly for free, all you have to do is sign up for our newsletter below. You can also go to blasphemousart.com/ blasphemousart.com/ebook. That's blasphemousart.com/ebook. Sign up with your email, and you get free gifts of this tasty blasphemy. What could be better? So make sure you sign up. Link below.